All right, guys, this is the question 2 of the challenge, and we have another question on logarithm here to solve. It says simplify log 40.5 base 3 minus log 10.5 base 3. Of course, you know your calculator would not be of help here. So how do we solve this problem manually? If you already have the answer, put it down in the comment section, and I'll see how you go about your solution. So now let's get started one step at a time. Now, the first thing I want you guys to remember is one of the laws of logarithm. Most people call it the subtraction law. It says if I have like log A base, let's say base A, then minus log B base A. Then what do you want to observe? They have the same base, right? We can further simplify this logarithm expression as log A over B, then to that base A. Do you remember this law? That is exactly what we are going to use here. Do not confuse it with this other law that says if you have log A base A, then when this addition, what do? You multiply, don't forget. So that will be log A times B base A, right? Interesting. But this is, we're not using this law. We don't need this one. This is the one we make use of because what we have here is subtraction. Very simple. So this is like my A and this is like my B. So when you apply this law, all this quantity is going to become log 40.5 divided by 10.5 base 3, right? That is it. So how do we go ahead and divide this stuff? That is it now. How do we divide this stuff? Now, there's one easy way you can think of it because this is a decimal number. It's not easy to divide decimal number. But you can also try to remove it from decimal since they all have just one decimal place. So if I multiply, let me show you something. If I have 2.5, for example, and I want to remove the decimal point, I'll just need to multiply it by 10 and it becomes 25, right? So that is how to remove this decimal point from here. So now I have 40.5 and I have 10.5. So if I decide to multiply those guys, 40.5 over 10.5 by 1, but in this case it's going to be like 10 over 10. 10 over 10 is 1, right? So it's not a different number. So 10 multiplied this guy is going to give me 405, and 10 multiplied this guy is going to give me 105. But remember, we still have log this quantity base 3. Now I can easily just do my division here. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I just have to remove the decimal point just to make it easy for me. Then I can quickly divide these guys because 5 can divide 405 and 5 also can divide 1005. So let's quickly break it down here. 405 divided by 105. If 5 divides 40, I have 8. And if 5 divides this guy, I have 1. If 5 divides this guy, I have 2 and I have 1. Right? 3 can divide. Right? 3 can divide. 9 can divide. 9 times, no, 9 cannot divide, but 3 can divide, right? So if 3 divides 8, you have 2 remainder. 3 times 2 is 6, remainder 2. So 3 divides 21, you have 7, right? Then 3 divides 21 here, you just have 7. So we have 27 over 7. That is what we've got, right? So I think there's nothing else can divide this point. So finally, this whole stuff is just going to be what? Log 27 upon 7 base 3. I hope you're getting this point, right? All right. So you still remember that this guy can still be expressed as this guy. When you have something like this, you can still express it in this form. So this is like my A and this is like my B. So I can go ahead and say this is going to be like log 27 base 3 minus log 7 base 3. I hope there's no problem here. We are just using the law of logarithm. Now, why do I have to do that? Because you can see that I told you in the previous video, if you've not watched the previous video on question 1, make sure you go watch the video because everything is going to be connected. Now, if I have log 27 base 3, what is this asking us? It's asking you 3 raised power what number will give us 27? 3 raised power what number will give us 27? That is 3. So 3 raised to the power 3, we're going to give me 27. So all of this quantity here is going to be what? 3. You see, and here we don't have to simplify this guy. This guy cannot be simplified by that's our idea. So we just leave it at that. And if you look at the option, this is what we got. 3 minus log 7 base 3. And that is option C. How easy is this one for you? Is it really difficult? If it's very clear, please let me know in the comment section. All right, guys, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next class. Bye-bye, and God bless.